building momentum, and she's up to 12 appointments booked. So congratulations to Katie. And again, we appreciate um, uh, anybody that is able to be our celebrity or on kind of under the microphone dialer on Mondays. That's such a big deal, or Mondays and Thursday mornings. It's such a big deal, especially for those of us when we have someone new to come in and just see and realize that, hey, even some veterans or get beat up too, you know. And in fact, I had one person said, man, hey, she didn't sound that great. I think I could do better. I was like, awesome. I'm like, well, let's go, cowboy. Let's see what you can do. So for me, you know, it's like, hey, good for you. And if people get that from watching, I think that's awesome. For those that are here, if you haven't shared your numbers throughout the day, hey, I encourage you to do that. Your numbers matter to us. We like to see them and celebrate them. So congratulations. Um, Another big one is I want to give a shout out to Hayden Thomas. Hayden, are you able to open up your mic? I'd just like to chat with you a little bit.
Hey, can you hear me?
Let's see.
I had to open up another one.
Hayden,
I had to do it
I'm
on the
not
phone.
hearing you. Let's see if we can get your microphone opened up.
Can I come in there?
All right, come on in. We'll get him on until he's here at the office physically with us, so we'll get him tuned in. All right, grab a chair, pull it around. All right. Okay, so we've got Hayden here. Come on, you can get cozy. I won't bite.
All right,
I ain't got no cozy.
Trying to social distance.
Yeah,
Trying to be good.
Okay, so Hayden, for those that don't know, you tell them where you live and when you got your license.
I live in little old Russellville, Kentucky, about 2 hours away from here. And I got contracted at the very end of February, so right before the world started going crazy.
Okay, all right. And what were you doing for work before you jumped on board with us?
It might not look like it, but I was actually a butcher.
A butcher.
Yeah.
That's right. There we go. Chopping them up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Most butchers are big, heavy-set guys. I was the little guy in between them.
Got it. So you was one that you get like the 95% lean ground beef, that you get like the 70%?
Right. I'm the 95%. The other guys are the 70%.
Okay. All right. There you go. All right. Cool. All right. So, so you've been coming up, and how far a drive is it for you to be here at our office when you come up from Dial?
2 hours and 15.
2 hours and 15 minutes each way. So that's a chunk out of your day. What have you picked up from just being here physically when you're here dialing with us?
It's a whole lot easier to work when you're in a work environment rather than at home. I tried dialing at home, and I don't know. There's just something about it. I got a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old running around, so it's hard to get in the right mindset and get the work knocked out as soon as possible. So being able to come up here has helped that out a lot.
Okay, good. Now, what were some of the things that you've learned as you've evolved in booking appointments? Like, what were some of the things? In fact, well, let's first recognize you booked 20 appointments so far today. You did it on 112 dials and 29 connects. How does that rank in terms of like how long in the day it's taking you to get to 20 appointments?
That's the fastest I've ever done.
And so you started at what time today?
9 o'clock Eastern, 8 Central.
Okay, and right now it's 2 o'clock. What time did you hit 20? Do you remember? 1:40 Eastern. So really in 4 hours and 40 minutes?
It looks like 24.
Okay, all right. So 4 hours and 24 minutes. Okay. Let's go back to maybe 2 or 3 or 4 weeks ago, because you have booked 20. What time of day would you be? Was it when you would typically be booking your 20 by the time you hit your 20?
Usually around 5 or 5:30.
Okay. So that, like, you just shaved like 4 hours off your time.
Yeah.
What were the biggest things you've done to shave that time off and get it done, so you get it done in, say, 4.5 hours?
I would say, having everything prepared the night before. Like, I sent Sherry the email last night with my PDFs and everything, making sure they're printed off, ready to go on my desk whenever I come in, so I can just come in and start dialing. And then pretty much taking notes from Alfonso, like getting stuff ready, and don't put the phone down until you got 20.
And how hard was that for you? Did it used to be for you? Like when you used to do it, like what would you might show up, like you'd want to be started at 9, but like what time would you show up at the office? What would you do before you started dialing?
Just
the old you.
Just pussyfooting around, honestly. It's like, oh, I got this pending and this, and then like Alfonso said, it's like if it doesn't give me my dials, it can wait. And so I've kind of adopted that, and I would say one big thing is that I would like come in with the mindset of like, okay, I'm gonna, work here till 5 till I get my 20. But today, like on my way here, I was like, I'm gonna get it done in 4 hours. I'm gonna give myself 4 hours to do it, and that's just how much time I'm gonna allow. Like, so if you have like a long period of time, the work stretches out to fill that time. So I just didn't give myself that much time. I didn't make it. I was about 25 minutes late, but hey, I was close.
You still had your best day. Okay, that's awesome. And I think just that mindset, because now, so instead of it being like a dialing, being a whole day of drudgery, it's something I do in 4 hours. I get it done, and then I move on. Now you got time to do your penning.
Yeah, I got to take care of.
Get Sherry stuff. And see now, so look at you. You go home and have an evening out with your family, or you can start to do more recruiting stuff. I mean, you could even do telesales or do some drive-bys. It's like you can either put more time in your business in recruiting, more telesales, followed by more pending. You go home and spend more time with your family. You work out. You can do a lot of things that time if you'll train yourself to get those 20 or 25. You can even book more than 20. There's so much you can do when you get the discipline to get the 20 booked at and look at it as a 2 or 3 or 4 hour event, not 12 hours of drudgery, and then building your skills for that. So I'm fired up. Seriously, good job. Proud of you for that. Now you've done it once.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit 4 hours next time.
How much do you think it helped that Dion decided to dial from home today, so he wasn't here to bother you?
He's not too much of a.
I'm messing with Dion. He's
honestly,
probably sitting at home listening.
Yeah, I missed him because we got a good little competition going. We kind of compete with each other and check in on each other to see who's doing it the fastest. So I would say that might have helped me. That might have helped me even more. I don't know.
Okay. All right. We're having fun. All right. Well, hey, look, I'm proud of you. In fact, if anybody here, if you've not booked 20 appointments in 4 hours before, and you've got questions real quick for Hayden, feel free to pop them up in the chat or open up your microphone and ask Hayden or text me. And then we're going to, here in a second, we're going to get to Chris. But anybody got questions for Hayden based on what his growth and his performance in appointment setting? By the way, how'd you do in your 2 days in the field on Monday and Tuesday, or Tuesday, Wednesday?
I did better in the past 2 days than I did last week. So.
Okay. And so how many families did you sit with?
Off the top of my head, 8.
And how many did you help?
I helped 4.
Okay. And how many apps?
4.
And about how much premium?
About 2,800.
About 2,800. Okay. Not bad. And I know you're building up to the point where you can get to 10,000 a week. Okay. Good. Cool. Any other questions? Anybody got anything for Hayden?
What was his lead mixture today that he worked off of?
What was that?
The lead, like what kind of leads did you work with today?
I was using my Facebook leads. I had those coming in over the past few days, and then I had some that I didn't get to meet on the past 2 days, so I called them and rescheduled and booked a meeting from a meeting. Some extra stuff carried over.
Okay. Did you have any referrals that you were calling?
Not any referrals.
Any clients that you sold previously that you were going back to?
Yeah, 2.
Okay, got it. Okay, so a couple things. So some current clients, some people he couldn't, so you missed on the schedule and didn't meet with, and then fresh bang leads. And then were you calling through any old of your GMR leads that you hadn't booked a week before?
Look, I had some GMR that we had set up with my other guy, but I called them, so his leads helped out too.
Okay. All right. So we had an agent that was here that decided he couldn't do this anymore after today, so we had some of his leads too. So so we got that too. All right.
Yeah. So luckily I didn't have to talk to anybody. Like the oldest one was like 2 months ago, so that helped out too.
Okay, good. Having enough leads. That was big. Okay, good. Any other questions for Hayden? All right. Well, hey man, I'm excited about bringing Chris back. I know we've had some people that have found money since Monday, so we may engage those people. In fact, if you found money since Monday, put a note in the chat. If you've either found money or if you've had an appointment with Chris where you sat down and were talking about found money in the last day, please put a note in the chat. We might call you up. I know there's a couple people I know that have, but Chris Norris, let's go ahead and let's get you up here, buddy. Chris, we got you. And for those that weren't here Monday, again, Chris runs Burlington Alliance Capital Management. He has been a pro at helping people manage their wealth, protect their wealth, create income streams. And he's been doing it for over 20 years. Chris has been a friend of the Alliance for, I think, 3 years now in his partnership with us and being the go-to guy. And so, Chris, we got you open, got your mic up and running here.
Yes, sir. How is everybody?
Hey, we're doing well, man. We're doing well. In fact, I'm just seeing the notes here of people that have found money popping up. I see Junior Korea saying he found money. Jara's got 2 appointments booked with Chris. Alfonso Thomas found money. I know Dion had an appointment where he found money and has got you back. And then, and I think he's got another one booked for this Saturday. Jan Frankel Miller found money. So we've got a few more. So for those that have found money in the last 2 days, I think that's cool. So Chris, maybe us talking about it is helping stimulate things. And so Chris, I'll kind of turn it over to you, but I think now it's like we want to maybe recap, believing that the money's there. Maybe we ought to talk to these people that found money real quick and just let them tell us how they found it. And then maybe you talk about some of the steps on these 20 power questions and what to be thinking about next.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, like you said, talking to the guys that found money, maybe they can tell us what they did and, tell us how easy it was, because we know it's not hard. I think the biggest key is they're looking for it, right? They're just asking. That's one of the things I've got on my notes is keep it simple. Just ask the questions. When you're out there, make it a priority, ask the questions. Kind of like dialing. You look in there, you guys are making dials, you're talking to people. Lo and behold, you guys are setting appointments because you're making dials. It's pretty simple. If we work, things happen. It works out pretty good. So I know, let's see. I don't know who you want to bring up, Mike. So I'll just kind of
let's start with Alfonso. I know he's
right.
excited. I was chatting with him yesterday. Alfonso, you able to open up your mic?
Yes, Mike, I got it open.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right.
I want to say hello to everybody out there that dialed in the morning. Hayden, I'm excited about you, man. Hey, you can do it. I put something in the chat for you, but you did the right thing, man. Mindset. That's what it's all about, mindset. And keep pushing, man. Keep pushing, just like Mike and Noel had taught me. Just push, keep pushing through it. But I'm excited this morning, Mike, because I got a chance to talk with a young man the other day, and I called you and asked you a question about some medical information. I was able to write the application first, but as I was writing the application, found out that he was from Alabama. So I realized that he was my homeboy. We call it homeboy. But we just had a good conversation. Actually, I stayed there a little longer than I wanted to, but it was a very engaging conversation. And as Andy has always taught and teaches us, look around, left, right, and see what is going on and what the atmosphere is all about. Very nice home, driving a nice big BMW. I said, man, money, dollar signs start popping in my head. So I started asking questions in regards to how does this 401k look? Do we have any money in the stock market? And so on and so on. So he got into a conversation that lasted a little bit longer. And then he was saying, no, I don't have any money in the stock market, but I got money coming in and it'll be in next week. I said, really? And I said, well, gosh, well, how much do you have coming in? He said, well, right now about 50,000. And he said, you know what? You're right on time because I'm looking for a company that I can put my money into. And I said, well, I got a guy who's really sharper than I am. His name is Chris Norris. And I said, he's my partner up in North Carolina, and he specializes in this. We work together real close. So I said, well, I'm going to set up an appointment that you and I and him can talk. And he's going to guide you through all the questions that you want to answer. So I did a green sheet on him, got the green sheet here, getting ready to pop in, send that up to Chris, his office, and set up an appointment with him. I bam-fammed him for next week. So that's where we at, and I'm excited. But I tell you, one of the things is to slow down and just listen and hopefully engage into a conversation and stay with the person. Don't go off in left field and right field. Just stay with them and just ask questions. Make them feel comfortable. And he got very comfortable with me that night. So I was excited, man. I left there like jumping up, clapping my heels. Yes, fired up.
Do you still get enough airtime that you can click your heels?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Yeah, jumping up and down, man. Boop, boop. Yeah. Airtime, baby.
All right.
Yeah, but it's exciting. It's exciting. Let me tell you, helping people is exciting. That's it.
Good. Chris, what kind of questions do you have for Alfonso, or what do you notice in the things that Alfonso's sharing?
So, that was really good, Alfonso. So it sounds like, you slowed down. That was some of the things we talked about Monday. You paid attention, right? You kind of looked around and said, hey, I'm going to take my time. I'm going to, there's a song, right? Love the one you're with. You didn't hurry up and move on and try to hurry too quickly to the next appointment. You took your time and moved down. That's what I would encourage everybody is that, we get in such a rush because we like, hey, I got another appointment in 10 minutes. I got to move on because I got to go and make that other. Don't do that. You're on the phone with the person there. Focus your energy with that person because, we've all been there. That next person that you're dialing, they may not pick up the phone. They may stand you up. You got somebody in front of you. Take your time.
Yeah.
You may just find out that they got $50,000 coming in next week. If you don't take your time, you ain't gonna find that money.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem that we have is that, I had a client I was talking to yesterday, and that's what she was talking about. When we're talking about our children, and we're the same way now with cell phones. Everything's right here in our hand. We want everything instantly. We have to stop ourselves as salespeople and get out of that mindset because everything really comes to us on our cell phone. Everything is instantaneous. We have to take that step back and slow down and realize that, hey, if we pay attention, we will find a lot more to be able to do. I'm assuming everybody listened to the product call that just happened. Philip Abear was just talking about that. He was talking about, hey, slow down, pay attention, everything will come to you. That's one of the things that he kind of said is that, keep it simple, slow down, focus. You're going to find more business by doing those little bitty things and just letting the world slow down. So again, Alfonso, that was what I noticed is that, like you said, you looked around and you said, hey, this guy's got, he's got a nice house. He's got the BMW in the drive. Those are all kind of indicators that, hey, I should be asking questions.
Mm-hmm.
We should be asking every time because we don't know, but you certainly should be asking those when you see those indicators stick out to us. Right. So great job, man. Again, I saw your name at the top too for dials and appointments too. So great job with that too. So
thank you.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, good job.
All right. Dion, I saw that you found some money, and I know you had an appointment. You got it bam-fammed. Dion, you want to share a little bit about how you found that money?
Sure can. So it was a regular, GMR lead. And I showed up and it was a beautiful, it said apartment A, but there was no apartment. It was a beautiful house in a beautiful neighborhood. So I was immediately thinking these people have money. I know I'd been thinking about the annuities and stuff. So that was in the back of my mind going in. He was like a 70-some-year-old man, 77, had Alzheimer's a little bit. And so I knew right away we probably wouldn't be able to do something like insurance. And so I started going through just the green sheet and just did it all and just slowed down like you keep hammering into me. And then when I got to the money, I asked them, how much do you guys have so say you couldn't get insurance, what would you guys have to live off of or what would they have to bury you? And he mentioned they got quite a bit in the bank. I was like, okay, so around what amount do you have in the bank? And is it in savings account? Where you got it? And he said, about 300,000. And it's just in bank accounts, no savings account even. And it kind of went ding, ding, ding in my head. And I tried not to get too excited. But once I seen and showed him what the prices would be to get like a guaranteed product with insurance, I flipped the script and said, some people like to self-insure. And so by going through that and talking about an annuity, I booked an appointment with Chris, and Chris helped me through the rest of that then. And then I have a question for Chris, because I also found money last night, but it was a woman who I sold a policy to earlier. They're like, they obviously have money. When I did the green sheet on her, she has quite a bit, her and her family, but she is in the stock market. She trades. That's her job. And she makes, she takes $500, turns it to 7,000 sometimes. And so I just asked her what she thinks about, I showed her one of the charts that Chris had sent me, and I was just curious what someone in the stock market thinks. And she basically told me someone that's younger than, 40 to 60, it's not worth it. I mean, they can't afford to put money in something that's only going to grow 7 to 10%. So I was just curious what Chris thinks about that as well.
All right, I'll answer that question. Let me go back for a second. So Dion, you got to tell everybody. So we're on the call. You've got to tell them more of the story with your clients. All right. So we just have to talk more about your clients. All right. So these clients, I want you to be sure you share with everybody the evolution from where you started with the conversation versus where you ended up with the conversation. So yes, you talked about self-insuring, but what did they tell you they wanted to put in at first to self-insure?
It started out, so when we talked about self-insuring, I explained how one of my clients did just an annuity where it will build up to about 12,000, and then it'll be more than that. And so we were talking about 12,000 there at first. But then when I was talking with Chris on the phone, I just wanted to, I told him, I was honest with him. I said, look, this is the first time I'm actually doing one of these. And so I'm curious what 50 and 100,000 look like. And I asked the man there, I was like, wouldn't you be interested in just seeing what that's like, And so I had Chris pull up also those numbers. And so now tomorrow at 11, we're going in, and I'm praying, Lord willing, they'll see the benefit of the 100. But he's thinking 50 or 100 tomorrow. So it went from 12,000 self-insuring. The wife wasn't sure if she'd want to put more in that, but after going through the liquidity of 100,000, she was. And I'm pretty sure tomorrow we'll get him on the 100, but we'll see.
Yeah. So it started out that they were very sly, and I think I can do 12. He was kind of, I think I can do it, to 100,000 is probably easy. That's it was really interesting, just kind of the evolution of the conversation. So I wanted Dion to make sure he shared with everybody how folks will kind of change their mindset as you build rapport and as they warm up with you, which is what happened. They really started to like Dion and things like that, and they warmed up and they warmed up to the idea of it once they started seeing numbers and understood that it was a much better proposition than leaving it at the bank at 0.08% or whatever they're earning. So again, but it was all rapport. It had nothing to do with anything outside of the fact that they like Dion. So I wanted to make sure he shared that. Now you asked me a very specific question. So this lady, what does she do again, Dion? So share that with me, and we'll see if we can.
She's a stockbroker. She does a little bit for other people. She's done it her whole life, and so she buys options, shares, different things.
Is she a licensed stockbroker, or is she just doing it on the side?
No, she's licensed. She was licensed back in the day, and now I don't know if she still has her license today, but now she works 10 to 12 hours a day still. She said she's trying to calm down. She's old. I mean, like 60.
What's her main job, Dion?
That is her main job. Okay. And she supports her family through that. Her husband doesn't work.
So she sells options.
Yeah, options, stocks. She's moving towards options a little more now.
Okay.
But her point was, anybody that's my age to the age of 60, even, she said, if you're looking at an average of a 7% gain a year, then you can't afford that. Basically, is what she was saying. That's piddly.
Okay, so what were you having a conversation with her about? I'm sorry.
So her husband can't be can't have life insurance right now that's not graded. And so I brought up how some people do the self-insured thing
Mhm.
last night, and she was in a rush. So once I got her talking about stocks, we ended up being there for about an hour. But so I was just bringing that up to her, asking her what she thinks, and she pretty quick turned on me, said, "You know what I do, right?" And she was like, "You know, I can take $5,000 and turn it to 20. You know, that's no biggie for me." And so she was like, "Anybody can do it." She was acting like anybody can do it, but I don't know. I'm just curious. What have you met people like that? What would do you just move on?
I mean, so all due respect, why are we talking about life insurance?
Yeah,
And
that's exactly. Yeah, it was interesting. I still don't know why she bought a plan.
well, just say that again.
I'm still not sure why she, if she can make so much money, why she did, but she did say the average she makes a year is about 80 doing just that.
Yeah. Yeah. So something doesn't add up. I would say she's probably not telling the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So, but again, if she's selling options, she makes some and she loses some.
Yeah.
So that's why she makes on average 80.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, options is the most risky side of the business, right?
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, because you're buying an option and saying, hey, I'm betting this is going to go up. So I'm betting on that minus part that it does go up, and I'm going to buy above that number.
Yeah.
So you can win really big and you can lose really big.
Yeah.
So if she loses, it's really big. If she wins, it's really big. But again, at the end of the day, I don't know why she's talking to you about that standpoint. I mean,
Because she's like, they're charging you guys have to make money, she was telling me. So they're charging, interest and whatnot. Yeah, sure, they're making a little bit of interest, but at the same time, they're charging all these fees. She was telling me basically that I'm hoax with that stuff. She said that stuff is bogus. And so I was kind of taken back, like, okay.
she was talking about on annuities.
Yes, she was saying like it's more expensive for your clients. You're actually not doing them a favor. And so I was like, at the end of the night, I was like, man,
that's a conversation that you basically just say, that's not what I do. It's fine. Yeah. I think you're talking about the other annuities.
Oh, okay.
and just move on.
All right.
And just don't get stuck in the weeds and say, hey, I can help you on this, and just move on.
Yep.
So don't get sucked in that conversation, especially, because she's having a conversation about life insurance because she obviously needs some.
Yep.
So yeah. And just like Mike said, hey, we can help you here. That's not what I do. So that's the other annuities.
Yeah. And the other piece of that, Dion, is to distinguish yourself. Say, oh, you like to work on the high risk, high return side. That's awesome. I specialize on the zero risk, medium return side.
Yeah.
So I help people with the safe part of their portfolio. Oh, that's awesome that you do that. But yeah, I help people on the safe side where there are no fees and they can get a fair rate of return instead of getting raped at the bank and on their CDs. Yeah. I'm in the rate prevention department.
Yeah, because she brought up CDs and said those gain more than 7%. But I know people who have CDs and they're not near making money.
See, right there, she just told you how stupid she is.
Yeah.
And she says, yeah. And so, like, now this is where you're new. So, Dion, the last time a CD paid 7% was 2006.
Right.
How old were you in 2006, Dion?
Not old, not even 10 yet. 9.
So just a little bit of history there. I'd be like, if she says, and again, I don't want to get any farther off this, but again, when someone says that, here's for anybody that's listening, I just said, of a CD that's paying out 7%, do tell. I've got clients that are dying for something like that. Yeah. We have got to spread the word. Which bank? I'm going to start searching right now. Yeah. Like, bite on it when she says something. Again, you've got to learn through experience what's fact and fiction. Yep. But you have fun with it and let her trip over herself trying to backpedal.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
Yep. Good job. Chris, any other comments for Dion?
No, I mean, I think Dion, like you said, I mean, I thought you did great. You built great rapport, and those folks loved you. And like I said, we'll have another conversation with tomorrow, and then you're finding other money. Keep asking. I mean, that's the biggest thing is that, obviously you're recognizing and you're willing to ask. That's the biggest key.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Chris.
All right. Let's see. Jared Gonzalez, you found two appointments booked for Chris. Jared, you want to comment on where you found the money or what you did to find it?
Hey guys, yes. So actually both of these this last couple days was off of basically policy reviews from current clients, just booking appointments with them, just, hey, it's time to do your required policy review, just going through everything. And so one of my clients, a couple in their 70s, we had set her up with Plan Right for partly for mortgage payment protection and partly for the cost of funeral expenses. And her husband had already had a policy, so we didn't do anything for him. So when we were going over everything yesterday, I said, remind me, why we didn't do anything for you, Jerry. And he said, well, I already have a policy. And I was like, oh, great. Remind me how much that covers. And he's like, it's 500,000. And I'm like, wow, that's great. And you just turned 73, right? And he's like, yes. And I said, so when does that end? And it's basically a 10-year term policy. So I said, okay. So remind me, what is your plan, if you outlive the 10 years? Like, do you have anything that's going to pay for your burial? And he's like, well, I have some money in savings. So after talking through it, long story short, we looked at, the final expense option versus what else they had to rely on. And he, at his age, it's going to be, a little bit higher for cost of burial. So I said, what else do we have to rely on? Found that they have some money in savings. And I just asked, so, you might not even need burial insurance. Some people just self-insure. So give me an idea so that I can help you, best navigate about how much are we looking at that you have in your savings. And so it just, the conversation ended up going, so what kind of interest rate are you getting in your savings account right now? And it was kind of funny because he's like, well, I think I'm getting about 3%. And his wife is like, no, you're not. And so anyway, so we ended up just kind of talking about some of the programs and ended up booking an appointment with Chris. And I was just getting ready to fill out the green sheet here. So they want to do a Zoom session tomorrow afternoon. So Chris, be looking out for that. I'll be sending the green sheet. And then the second client it was another policy review, couple in their mid 60s. And he, I was like, so, Albert, how close are you to retiring now? You've been at your company for how long now? And he's like, well, 30 something years. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to be retiring like probably next year. And I'm like, that's awesome. What are you guys going to do now that you retire? And anyway, so I said, so are you still like contributing to your 401k? And he's like, no, I'm not contributing anymore. And I said, oh, okay. So how's your 401k been doing, like with the craziness in the market? Like, have you lost any money at all? And he's like, yeah, I lost a little bit. And I said, okay, so remind me about how much do you have set aside right now in your 401k? And he's like, about 340,000. And I was like, oh, awesome. I said, man, that's exciting that you're going to be retiring within the next year. And he's like, yeah. And so I told him, have you seen like the market lately? And he's like, I haven't really paid attention too much. And I said, well, I don't know if you've paid attention to a lot of the financial experts and everything like that, but they keep saying that the market is due for a correction. So how much of your 401k could you afford to lose, like if the market crashes? And he was just like, well, none of it. So I basically just edified Chris and I said, well, one of my colleagues, his name is Chris Norris. I call him the Chuck Norris of the retirement world. He that's kind of above my pay grade, but he's been helping our clients for over 20 years, just kind of look at their situations. And I just told him a little bit about our Safe Money program, that if the market were to crash, we have a program that can make sure that his 401k is protected from market downturns. So we went ahead and filled out the green sheet and booked an appointment for next week. And then he's going to be downloading his 401k statement and emailing it to me by tomorrow before they leave on vacation. So I told him, all right, if I don't get that statement from you tomorrow, I'm going to give you a call to remind you. So, but he was like, I mean, you should have seen the look on his face. Cause I said, wow, you're retiring next year. How much of that can you afford to lose? And he was like, guess I didn't really think about that. So it was cool to kind of remind him about that, since he's so close to retirement, and the fact that he's not contributing to it anymore. It's just sitting there, hopefully we'll be able to help him out.
Good job. Good job, Jara. Chris, questions, comments for Jara?
No, that's great. So couple of things to point out. I don't know if you guys listened to that. One thing is she's doing annual reviews. I'm hoping everybody's doing that. So if you guys don't pay attention to this, you guys can do that off of the ARC system, the CRM right off of the ARC. I mean, it populates that every day. I mean, there are annual reviews. It pops up every day. You guys should be able to go in there and do that. So Jera's an example. Belle Kraus called me last night. She had a client. It popped up in her system. She called the client. He reminded her. When she called, she was just doing a review and said, hey, you mentioned that you do save money. Hey, I've got this $160,000 retirement account. You had mentioned to me, do you still do save money? I mean, guys, if you're not doing annual reviews, you are missing opportunities. So I'm going to tell you, you need to be doing annual reviews. There is money there. It's already there. They're already your clients. They are waiting for you to call them.
Yeah.
That is the easiest thing. Jera, that's a great example. I mean, 300 and how much?
340.
I mean, that's a pretty doggone good case.
And then I don't know if you remember that other client that I was talking to you about, but he has 1.2 million.
I do remember.
In his 401k.
Yeah.
So we're trying to see if we can do something there as well.
Yeah, I'm just saying, guys, it's out there. So, it's, guys, again, part of it's asking, if you listen to Jera, she's sincere when she talks to the client. She just asked, she was talking to the client, he's 73, just kind of talking about reviewing policies. A couple other things I would say, when you're talking to your clients and they're 71, 72, 73, and you're talking about, hey, how's your retirement account doing? Have you paid attention to the market? She's just giving them little reminders. We were talking about this the other day. Just give them little reminders. Hey, are you taking your RMDs? That's a pretty good question. Are you taking RMDs from your retirement accounts? If you ask that question, you're gonna find out a couple of things. Well, for one, you're gonna find out if they have retirement accounts, right? So if you ask them, hey, are you having to take your RMDs from your retirement accounts? If you didn't know they had retirement accounts, you're going to find out pretty quickly. So that's a really good question to ask when you're doing an annual review. When you're doing annual reviews, Jera asked, hey, do you have this policy, that $500,000? You can ask it kind of nonchalantly, hey, do you have any other policies, any other final expense policies? Do you have those somewhere else? I noticed on my review sheet, I don't have that listed. Do you have those somewhere else, or you just have them and not have them with me? You just kind of keep going down a checklist, and it's kind of just nonchalant. You just kind of ask that question until they tell you no, and you just kind of ask. But like I said, I like the RMD question because it's going to tell you whether they have retirement accounts, and then you say, oh, well, where's that at? Have you paid attention to the market? How's it performed? How would it affect you if it went down 50%? You can ask, kind of like Jera said, You know, how much of it can you afford to lose? You know, that's a great question. You know, especially for somebody getting ready to go into retirement. That I promise you, that's a question they're thinking about. You know, so if you ask that question for somebody that's going into retirement or getting ready or has just gone into retirement, if you ask how much of it can you afford to lose, or how would your retirement be affected if it went down 35% like we just saw in March, how would that affect you? What if it didn't recover? Right? Because that's, you know, people remember what happened in March. What they're not remembering now is because we've had a good recovery. So you may have to add a little qualifier. Hey, what if it didn't recover? So sometimes you have to add a little qualifier to it. Hey, what if it didn't come back? And just kind of ask that little nudge. Hey, what if it went down 40% and it hadn't come back? You know, so what if we lost 50% and it hadn't come back and you had to retire now? So a couple little things like that. But Jared, great job. So again, the biggest things there, be sincere. You know, keep it simple. Don't get very complicated. You know, but again, policy reviews, use the ARC system, use the CRM system. Paul Epstein, I know you do a lot of that. So, and you have for a long time. So again, Mike, who else I know?
Let's see. We had
I know
we had a
Junior.
couple others. I just posted some of the questions in there, but we said I think Jan Miller had found some money.
Yep.
Jan, you want to share where you found some money?
Hey, Chris, how are you?
Good, Jan. How you doing?
I'm awesome, thanks. Yeah, I did my first para appointments today, and they were mostly people that were close to retirement. And a couple of them one had 600,000, another had 60,000, but her husband, she thinks, has about 800,000. And she doesn't like the risk. So, I mean, I bam-fammed on both of them. So I'm trying to get the spouses on the next time.
Yeah, that's a key.
And I think that then ask more questions, because one of them knew a lot, the other one didn't. And so it was hard to get a lot of information to work on, but all in good shape. So it was pretty neat. It was kind of a learning thing, my first appointments, but I think they went okay.
Yeah. So good. I mean, again, it's all about asking questions and finding out information. So again, good job. So yeah, but yeah, keep digging, and we'll certainly help dig into that.
Okay, cool. I'm excited.
Yep.
I plan on filling up your calendar.
Yep, we can certainly help. So
Okay.
I know Junior, I think, had found some money as well, Mike.
Yeah, Junior, I think you found some money.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, buddy.
Fired up. Yeah, found money on a couple different clients. One lady, I was reviewing her policies and found out that she had $19,700 in an old retirement account. And I had Chris help me look at it real quick on that one, and then I called her back, because it went from 22,000 down to 17. Now it's back up to 19, and she just hates that, right? That up and down. So I ran an illustration with F&G, the Accumulator Plus, and we got her a locked in where it could only go up or stay the same. And she was pretty excited about that. And the returns on it are actually pretty good. With like, it's got 7%. Chris, I think the illustration says it's about 7.53% over the last 10 years, which is ridiculous. And I will say, Chris helped me on a previous client how to explain the Barclays index on that. So like, the more you do it, the more you'll be comfortable explaining it, and you'll actually get excited about the products, because they don't suck. They're actually pretty good. I mean, Well, because sometimes you think, oh, well, it's an annuity, so it's really not got that great of an interest rate, but I'm going to sell it to you just, and no, they really don't suck, especially when you compare it to what they have, just
Right.
and take it out for 7 years. That's the only downside,
Right.
but this lady was 57, so it didn't matter. It didn't really even apply to her when I mentioned it. Right.
Right.
That was one, Mike. And then another one was a teacher she had a bunch of money that's tied up, but she had 800 a month she was putting in to retirement, and she wanted to double it and put 1,600 a month. And she had a bunch of other stuff going on. I had no idea. It was a lot. So I got Chris involved with that one, and he's helping me. We still got to get back together. And I did run an illustration, Chris, for the 19,200 IUL. So, and then whatever else we do. So those are 2 cases this week.
Okay, awesome. Good job, Junior. Dion, you popped up a question. We may kind of use this to kind of close up a little bit, or Steven, but you mentioned a client getting 150% match in their 401k. Chris, you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So Dion, can you unmute and tell me a little bit about what they've told you? So I put a note that doesn't exist, but I want you to share with me maybe what they told you, and let's make sure we're all on the same page.
So we would have actually set up an appointment, but you're too busy of a man. I'm going back.
I'm going to address that in a second. I think I said it on Monday, but share with me what they told you.
So he was a current client, and I got to talking about what else they have, and he told me about his 401k.
Okay.
And he said that for every dollar he puts in, his company puts in $1.50.
Okay. Up to what amount?
He didn't say.
Okay. So again, that would be a question kind of for the future that we would want to know.
All right.
So that would be something.
So is there sometimes a set amount they'll go up to matching that much?
Absolutely. I've never seen a company match at $1.50 for $1. So let me tell you what you traditionally see.
All right.
What you traditionally see is a company's going to match. You may see dollar for dollar up to 3%. Traditionally what you see is a 50% match up to 60%. So you'll see 3% up to 6, right? So they put 50% up to 6%. So you have to put 6, and they're going to match 50% up to that amount. So they're giving you 3% of your income up to 6%. So you have to put in 6 to get that 3% match. That is the traditional scenario that you see in 99.9% of the plans that are out there. Now, I'm not going to tell you that is not out there in some form or fashion. Who's he work for?
IMI. It's a concrete company down here, and they're pretty huge.
Okay.
He was saying he's got about 140. Well, now it's up to 180. It went down to 140 through the coronavirus, and now it's back up to 180. He showed me the chart, and it's got pretty good growth on it. And it was showing that the company put in his contribution was way lower than. It looked really good. I was just curious.
Again, we would have to see it. I mean,
yeah.
Is it a 401k? Is it a profit sharing?
401k.
So, yeah, we would. Where they based? Which we're at in Kentucky?
It'd be down close to. They'd be also in Springfield, Tennessee, and things like that. So it'd be down southeast Kentucky, southwest. Sorry.
I'll see if I can find their Form 5500, which is a form you can look up. They have to file that for 401ks. That's the filing they have to use, and we'll see if we can find out what they match. That's actually the file they have to file with ERISA. So that's the technical term, but that's the 5500 they actually have to file, and that shows what they match.
All right.
That will give all the plan details. I'll see if I can pull it.
Really? So you can find someone's company's plan details online?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
They actually, it's public. They have to file that. It's a tax filing.
Nice.
So, and it's public. You can find all those. Yeah, you can find a lot of things about a plan on that. So you'd be surprised what you can find because it's they have to file it. So we'll see if we can find. I'll see if I can find it.
All right. Appreciate it.
Hey,
But
Chris,
they have to file that each year. So I'll see if I can find something for you. So
Chris, I got a question on that. So how do you go, not just for him, but for any other employer when they say something crazy, how do I go about finding that?
I would tell you the easiest way to handle all that is don't create a confrontation. You
Okay.
say exactly like Mike said earlier. Hey, that is great. That is an awesome plan. I'd like to find out more about that. Let's do something. Let's call your plan administrator, because what I'd like to do is just verify exactly what it does do. So, because again, if that's right, I'd like to really talk to them about some of the other companies that I represent, and maybe the plan administrator can give me some more details. So just dial the plan administrator while they're on the phone and get the client on the phone and say, hey, I wanted to make sure we have the matching correct, and just verify. It's kind of like calling the insurance company when you want to get the insurance company to tell the client bad news about their policy, right? Do the same thing when you have them there. Call the plan administrator that's on the 800 number and find out and just ask.
Is the plan administrator like VALIC, for example?
VALIC or Fidelity, or just call. Yeah, it's going to be the 800 number that's on their statement.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to be confrontational. You say, hey, that's great, and call them and get permission from the client to talk to them. So yeah, you don't want to be confrontational, but you certainly want to you want to verify that. You just want to verify that's correct, and if it's not, you want them to tell them. You don't want to be the one telling. So that's the easiest way, because like I said, we can pull lots of things. But for us to pull the 5,500, it's research, and it takes time. And again, if you can make a phone call while you're sitting there, you might have the ability to make a sale quicker than it is for us to pull information.
Gotcha.
I would just make a phone call. That's what I would recommend. So.
Okay. Awesome. So Chris, what are you I think as we are kind of getting close to end of time here, what are some things people should do if they see like they're trying to book a calendar? By the way, I put your book me page up, your cell phone up there. But if somebody's trying to look at your calendar and they don't see an open time slot and they're trying to get somewhere with the client, what should be their next move?
So a couple of different things. I got to make sure Amber's not in here because she'll get mad when I say this. So we are super busy, but guys, I'm always going to try to accommodate. Now, the reason I said I was looking over my shoulders because she's going to tell me that I shouldn't do that, but I'm always going to try to accommodate and help you guys as much as I can. So I saw Mike post my cell number. So guys, if you can't find a slot, there's lots of different reasons for that. I may have blocked it off because I'm trying to find time to prep all your cases and things like that, or maybe I had a meeting. Send me a text. If you can't find time, send me a text. I will try to find time to accommodate. So sometimes, there's things blocked off that I can move around. Sometimes I can call one of your peers and say, hey, look, Junior wants me to see this client at 2:30. Can I call you at 2:45 instead of right at 2:30? Are you good? So I can maneuver stuff. So if you see that I'm blocked out, things like that, just call me. We'll see what we can work around. It's the same things as, working on a weekend, things like, if you let me know in advance, we can work stuff out. So just reach out to me. That's the biggest communication, same as everything else, right? If you communicate with me, we're going to try to work it out. So that's the biggest thing that I would tell you. I said on Monday too, if I can't help you, I'm going to try to find somebody who can. So there are plenty of people that can help. On this call right here, we're going to find somebody that can help you. So reach out to me. If I can't help you, I'm going to reach out to Mike and we'll find somebody that can. So communication.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Chris, thank you. I'm hoping this has helped. I posted the 20 questions in full on Band. So if you weren't able to capture in the chat, it's on Band. Deanna, I emailed you a copy as well. Chris's contact is here. First thing is believe, going back to Monday, believe the money's there. Look for it like you know it's there. Ask the questions to develop pain and find out needs, as you heard examples here, and then get Chris involved. Keeping it that simple and just staying the course, and you'll build knowledge along the way, and you'll start writing annuities. So, and there's other details to learn, but if you get these concepts and get yourself moving, we'll equip you the rest of the way.